Okay, so I would like to eliminate some of the confusion about Clipper guards, okay, and give you all a little bit more of a better understanding how they work and everything. Okay, so let me start here. All right, now most barbers refer to these Clipper guards as, a number one, a number two, number three, number four, number five, so on. Okay. And then now my teacher always told me it's not the best thing to refer to them. You're better off referring to it by the inch. Okay, so like the number one is 1/8 of an inch. The number two is 2/8 of an inch. A three is 3/8. Four is 4/8. Okay, all the way down to number eight, which is 1 inch. All right. Now, this was something that used to throw me off a little bit. So a number one is 1/8. A number three is 3/8. Number five is 5/8. Okay, but now let's go look at the two. They call it 1/4. Okay, I don't know why they did that, because that just makes it confusing. That should be called 2/8. Okay, so if that's 1/8, a three is 3/8, a five is 5/8. Okay, then the two, it shouldn't say 1/4. Okay, it should say 2/8. And the number four should not say 1/2. Okay, it shouldn't say 1/2. It should say 4/8. And it would just be so much more simple to understand this. But anyways, that's not the end of the world, but it's good to know. The number one is 1/8. A number four is 4/8. A number seven is 7/8. Very simple when you look at it like that. Okay, now I like to, and so again, um, I think it is better to refer to this as the 1/8 guard, the 3/8 guard, on and on. All right, now we're going to go to the more recent, back in the day, there was no half guard, or as I prefer to call it, a 1/16th guard. And there also was not a 3/16th guard back in the day. It used to be for me, it was pretty hard to blend straight from a number one to a number two. And all right, now to take this a little bit further, I like to look at the millimeters. Okay, so if you look right there, right underneath where it says 1/8, it says 3 millimeters. Okay, that's a number one. A number two is double that. It's 6 millimeters. All right, a number three. Yeah, these numbers start going off a little bit. A number three is 10 millimeters. Number four is 13 millimeters. And then it starts again 16, 19, 22 millimeters. And 1 inch, number eight, is 25 millimeters. This, it just helps. I have a very clear understanding of what the length is supposed to be when you look at the millimeters. Everything seems to make sense after that. There's like no confusion when you know the millimeters. Okay, and it's not that hard to remember. All right, but now here's another curveball. The links are not accurate. Now this may be because the clippers are not zero gap when you buy them. But for example, a number one, okay, I had this old number one, and because this always kind of bothered me, it never seemed like it was really 1/8 of an inch. It seemed like it was much smaller. So got the ruler, got a pair of old guard, cut a couple pieces off, and let me tell you something. All right, that is not 1/8 of an inch, okay, or 3 millimeters. That is actually more like 1.5 millimeters. Okay, and I wish that I had cut a piece off of a number 2 so I could show you. You know, so back, the reason it's so hard to blend a 1 into a 2, or it can be hard for some people, it's not because of, well, it says it goes from, let's see here, 3 millimeters to 6, but I'm telling you, that is not accurate. That is off. It's more like 1.5 millimeter to 7, you know. And yeah, so I just wanted you to know that, so they are definitely not always accurate. And last thing I'm going to mention, I forgot to pull them out, but I'll probably show you in another video. But I bought these Babyliss clippers. Now their number 1 is actually a real 1/8. I'll show it to you in another video. All right.